Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Ministry of Grand Bahama on a mission to encourage greater participation in food production and subsequently cut down on the country's food import bill that hovers around $500 million. Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, says they are currently completing the draft for an agricultural cadet program that will target students from grades 10 through 12. Dr. Darville says funding has been secured, and he hopes this latest initiative will generate interest in the field.
The program is very specific. It will be funded by the Ministry of Grand Bahama in conjunction with a grant from the Chinese government. This particular program will be able to attract individuals from both private and public schools, and the program will be 2 years. The program is both practical and classroom, and this program will be affiliated with a model farm the Ministry of Grand Bahama is about to establish that will actually begin to have the workplace where we can train you in husbandry, crop science, as well as poultry.
Now, Dr. Darville says the program to be launched soon will not interfere with the curriculum of the various schools. The proceeds from the sale of the various crops will go to charity.
This will be an extracurricular program that we would like to introduce to the schools, not to interfere with your programs, but those who express interest in agriculture can sign up for this program, and we will definitely have the program certain afternoons after school, and then we would have a certain amount of time that we spend on the farm itself.
The Red Rose Ball Committee and the United States Embassy hosting the 3rd annual Teen Pep Forum today. The seminar provides young people with vital information about a disease that has claimed the lives of millions around the world. Sabrina Brown reports.
It's a pandemic that knows no race, gender, religion, or demographic, HIV and AIDS. The Red Rose Ball Committee is continuing its mission to save a generation through its Prevention Now education campaign. Junior and senior high school students from around the island gathered at the Grand Bahama Yacht Club to learn more about this dreaded disease. Healthcare professionals from the United States, Richie Prasad and Brenton Wright, say HIV and AIDS has no face, and young people need to be aware that no one is immune to this disease.
I think we're living in very troubling times, and there's so much more that we have to expose our kids to when it comes to having a sound education and truly understanding how serious this issue of HIV and AIDS is. And for me, I believe that with a sound education, having knowledge about the dangers of this disease, these kids will be positioned not only to win this battle, but not to becoming a victim of HIV and AIDS.
I actually lost a sister who's actually contracted with HIV/AIDS, and I can publicly say that. And I think there's a stigma in the Bahamas where it's a subject that we just don't want to talk about. You know, we think it's just taboo. We just don't touch it. We don't talk about it. I believe that the more we talk about it, we need to get ourselves tested.
Kevin Delancey has been living with the disease for the past 28 years and shared his personal experience.
This disease is a deadly disease, and I can tell you from experience, I was down to 95 pounds, PCP pneumonia, couldn't walk. I lost sight for a little while. I even had a very bad case of neuropathy, and I can tell you they need to heed to what we're telling them, because not everyone survived. This disease is a very, very bad disease.
Chairman of the Red Rose Ball Committee, Odette Knowles, and Shannon McBrayer of the United States Embassy are appealing to young people to take the message of prevention seriously.
We're still seeing some teens are involving themselves in situations where they really should not be, but it's our duty to still get it out to them and hope that they will make the right choices.
If we can prevent it, and you can start young in these children and tell them ways to prevent it, that's just invaluable.
Dr. L.J. McIntosh believes knowledge is power.
I think that we have a lot of misinformation out there concerning HIV and AIDS, and so a forum like this allows us to impart sound knowledge to the participants so that they understand fully what the disease is and how it affects the human body.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The Department of Social Services highlighting some of the telltale signs when it comes to child abuse. Incidents of abuse are on the rise on Grand Bahama, yet authorities are concerned that many cases may be going unreported. At a town meeting in 8 Mile Rock last night, Senior Welfare Officer Pauline Bowen Forbes advised parents to pay strict attention to their children.
Children, apart from those who may have difficulty with their vision, children have difficulty concentrating in school. Why is it they're not being able to follow what the teacher is teaching them? What is going on at home? What is really bothering them? Is it that a child might have gone through a situation that they have experienced something that led to them no longer being able to concentrate? Sometimes we see children, they say, oh, don't worry about this child. Their head is always in the cloud, but really, that's something you need to be concerned about. A lot of times children don't know how to verbalize what has happened to them, what they're going through, but they tend to internalize what is it they've experienced, but you'll see it in their behavior.
The senior welfare officer has told parents that they should always take note of any change in behavior. An alert parent, she says, can make a big difference.
Certainly avoiding you, avoiding the teacher, having signs of withdrawal, that is also a sign that you need to cue into. If you know, especially if you have a child who's outgoing and bubbly personality and all of this, then all of a sudden they're avoiding you for whatever reasons, you need to cue into that. And I want to say to those who are here tonight, if you for any reason feel like you have nobody to talk to, please find a social worker, find Department of Social Services or the police, and they will contact us. We work hand in hand, we work together as a team to be able to protect our children. That is what it's all about, putting our children first.
Well, police are investigating another armed robbery in Coral Reef Estates. It is the second armed robbery in that community within the past week and the third reported case in Freeport this week. The incident reportedly occurred around 4:50 this morning when a male wearing dark clothing and armed with a handgun entered a home and held the occupants at bay. The assailant was able to escape with jewelry and $700 in cash. Police are again asking anyone with any information to contact them at 350-3107 or 8-911-919 or call the nearest police station. Tonight, police are renewing the appeal for information on the whereabouts of a suspect who has been on the run now for almost a year. 34-year-old Garen Lucan Gibson of Patelco Corner in Jonestown, 8 Mile Rock, is wanted for questioning on serious criminal charges. Gibson, aka Dog, is about 5 feet 11 inches tall, 190 pounds, muscular build, and of medium brown complexion. Gibson is also considered armed and extremely dangerous. So if you can help police locate Garen Lucan Gibson, you should contact them at 911 or 919. The Northern Edition continues right after this.